Hi, I'm Bryony Blake, a makeup artist, and I'm here with Joanna, and we are doing the Icon look. Now, the Icon look is all about enhancing your natural beauty, so let's get started. I'm going to start with a bit of the beauty booster, and I'm going to do this with a sponge. The reason I want to apply it with a sponge is this is actually going to be our foundation today, and I find that when you apply it with a sponge, you just have a little bit more control over how much product you're putting in and in which areas. So for instance, I want a little bit more coverage around the nose area and possibly on the forehead, but I want to keep everything else very natural and fresh looking. And I find by just patting it on how I'm doing it like this with a damp sponge, this will just ensure that I get the coverage that I want. For a little bit more extra coverage and brightness under the eyes, I'm going to go in with the Illuma. And I like to take this just in a couple of dots, really concentrate on the areas that are slightly darker. So usually in the inner corner of the eye, it tends to be slightly darker. And then I'm going to take the bigger end of the flat end detailing brush. Now this actually has algae extract, which helps produce natural collagen, so it plumps around the eye area, which we all need, especially when you get a little bit older. You don't want anything to exaggerate any of those lines, and I do find with this, it looks so hydrating and glossy under the eyes, but you've still got the coverage that you need, so it's a kind of perfect combination. So just to set all of that, I'm going to go in with the Make It Matte press powder that's in the palette. I'm just going to take the small precision face brush, and I'm going to take the one that's the rounded end, and I'm just going to go over the top and where any areas that I want a little bit more coverage, but more to the point, I want it to be a bit more mattified. Always on the forehead, a little bit on the chin. This then just assures me that everything is ready to have any colour on it now. So I'm just going to fill in Joanna's eyebrows with a little bit of Cedar brow powder. And this one's a really good colour for people that are a little bit blonder or have grey or white hair, because it's a little bit more grey rather than red. And I do sometimes find that a lot of products can be kind of the wrong shade of blonde for certain people. So it's best to go for more of a taupey colour rather than a reddy blonde colour. And this just makes it look really, really subtle. It just fills in any gaps that you may need. But if it's just filling in you want, then you can always go in with the more fluffy end of the brush. But I like to do slightly hair-like texture on the eyebrows because I find it just looks a little bit more natural. Right, so now for the eyes, I'm just going to apply Cashew all over the eye area. This is a great colour because it just neutralises the whole eye area. So it's really good with something like this to take it a little bit higher than you normally would go. So I'm kind of going up into the brow bone. You see how it's a little bit lighter, so it's really going to make the eye pop. Just take it all the way across. Takes away any oils on the eyelid or anything like that. It just neutralises that whole area. So with the fluffy end of the eyeshadow brush, I'm going to take Cedar, the same colour that I put through the brows. Just tap that off. I'm just going to give the eye a natural contour, so I'm just going to go in the crease area with that. Again, just kind of really work with the brush just to give it a really nice blend out. You don't want any harsh lines at all. Just kind of making that whole eye area pop. Then with the slightly smaller end, I'm going to take the Cedar again, just look straight up for me, and I'm just going to go underneath the eye. I'm going to run that colour, same colour, again using the same brush just along the lash line as well. Okay, so I'm going to actually use a black mascara on you today. So I'm going to go in with the black fixing gel. Just look straight up for me. I'm going to put a tiny amount on the bottom, not too much. Again, you can kind of, if you would like a lot of mascara on the bottom, then by all means you can, but I just like to kind of ever so slightly touch the wand to the bottom. And then with my finger, just take off any excess. I'm then just going to apply the mascara. Root tip, give it a little wiggle. So you really coat every single lash. Then for an added bit of drama, I'm going to apply the fibres, but only to the top lashes. And by putting on the fixing gel, this is just going to assure that those fibres really cling to the lashes and give them that gorgeous kind of extended false lash effect. And then just to fix those in place, another layer of the fixing gel. Now just to finish off the eyes, I'm actually going to take a little bit of highlighter, which is in rose gold, And again, I'm going to take the fluffy brush. If you just close your eyes for me, I'm just going to pop that just in the inner corner of the eye, so you have a little pop just there. And I absolutely love this colour on the eyes. I think it looks so beautiful. Now, because it's a highlighter, I'm going to take that onto the cheeks as well, using my Precision Face brush. I'm going to use the slightly rounded end. Now, the amazing things about these blushes is they have natural mica extracts or particles in them. And the reason they have these particles, that's the thing that gives that beautiful little sheen to it. Then with the flatter end of the brush, I'm going to go in with Sepia, which is a contour powder colour. And the way to find your contour is, what I tend to do is take a brush, just very gently roll it under the cheekbone. As soon as you hit that area where it scoops in a little bit, just under the cheekbone, that is where you want to put your contour shape. But what you don't want to do is go any further than imagine an imaginary line going through the pupil of the eye. You don't want to go inwards. You want to stay all out. So we're just forming a really beautiful natural shade, but very, very gently. So take a very small amount, tap off, and then very, very gently back and forth, just blending that colour. So you're giving a really natural shade. You don't want any harsh lines, so really make sure you're blending it beautifully with the brush. You can also take a little bit of that just underneath the jaw area there as well. You can also pop a little bit on the forehead. So you're just giving a really nice light and shade texture to the skin. Also take a little bit down the side of the nose as well, just to give it a little bit of shape. We do not want any dirty marks, so really make sure that you check it in lots of different lights. Just turn your head this way for me. If you do feel it's a bit heavy, then just take the brush and just keep blending it. You want it to look really natural. I'm going to do the other eye now and show you the look before I do the lips. So to finish this look, we're going to add a little bit of pomegranate punch. This is such a wearable lip colour. For anybody out there that's terrified of a red, you need to try this one. It's gorgeous and super hydrating on the lips. And that is the icon look completed.